Jungkook and Jimin are back in the hot spotlight among global fans. In an interview that was initially casual and full of jokes, the small moment that occurred between the two actually sparked a big wave of discussion on social media. The fans known as the ARMY quickly caught on to details that for some may seem trivial, but for them have their own meaning. In the widely circulated snippets of the video, it is clear how Jungkook several times could not take his eyes off Jimin's face, more specifically, from the area of his lips. This moment occurred while Jimin was talking and laughing lightly, creating a relaxed yet intimate atmosphere. The camera that captured Jungkook's expression in close-up further made it clear how the focus of his eyes seemed to be locked at one point. This immediately sparked speculation from fans who felt that there was something deeper than just the usual interactions between group mates. For some fans, the gaze is considered a very personal form of interest or attention. Many judge that body language can never lie. The way Jungkook stared, his facial expression that seemed to change slightly until the moment where he seemed to smile a little afterwards, became the subject of long analysis on various platforms such as Twitter, TikTok, to online discussion forums. In fact, not a few slow down the video to capture every detail of the micro-expression that appears. However, on the other hand, there are also fans who try to see this moment with a more realistic point of view. They argue that the close relationship between Jungkook and Jimin has indeed been established for many years. As members of BTS, the two have gone through various experiences together, from trainee days, debuts, to reaching the peak of global popularity. The closeness naturally forms a strong chemistry, which can sometimes be misinterpreted by the audience as something more than just friendship. The interview itself actually took place with the concept of light and full of warmth. The BTS members throw jokes at each other, share behind-the-scenes stories, and reminisce about their careers in the music industry. In an atmosphere like this, spontaneous and contrived interactions are possible. Jungkook, who is known for his warm and expressive personality, often shows his reactions honestly, without realizing that his every move is being watched by millions of pairs of eyes. Jimin also attracted no less attention. As a figure known for his gentle aura and strong stage charisma, he has his own charm that makes it difficult for many people not to notice him. His characteristic smile, his subtle way of speaking, to his emotional facial expressions, make him the center of attention in various situations. It was no surprise that Jungkook, who was sitting right next to him, occasionally looked focused to Jimin as he spoke. The reaction of fans to this moment was also very diverse. Some feel resentful and consider it as proof of the closeness of Jikook that they have been supporting. The term Jikook itself has long been used by fans to describe the dynamics of the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook. They often collect various moments of interaction between the two as a form of documentation of closeness that is considered special. On the other hand, there are also those who remind not to go too far in drawing conclusions. They emphasize the importance of respecting the privacy and personal boundaries of idols. Although the interaction looks interesting and invites various interpretations, in the end only Jungkook and Jimin know the true meaning behind the moment. Interestingly, this kind of phenomenon is not new in the world of K-pop. Interaction between group members is often one of the main attractions for fans. Strong chemistry, both on stage and off stage, creates an emotional connection that makes fans feel closer to their idols. In this context, the moment Jungkook is seen paying attention to Jimin's lips could be just one of many spontaneous interactions that happen to be caught on camera. However, the power of social media makes even the smallest moment can go viral in no time. A few-second snippet of a video can develop into a global topic of discussion, complete with various theories, analyses, and interpretations from fans around the world. This is what makes the phenomenon of Jungkook's gaze to Jimin's lips so big and widely discussed. Despite the various speculations circulating, one thing is certain is that the relationship between Jungkook and Jimin does have its own charm. Whether as close friends, co-workers, or as two individuals with complementary personalities, both always manage to steal the public's attention in a unique and natural way. The moment in the interview ends up being a reminder that little things often have a big impact, especially when they involve public figures with massive fan bases. A short look, a small smile, or a simple gesture can turn into an endless global conversation. Is it true that Jungkook had hidden intentions when he saw Jimin's lips? Or is it just a spontaneous reaction without any special meaning? The answer will probably remain a mystery, known only to the two of them. But for fans, this mystery is exactly what makes the story of Jikook even more interesting to follow. In the end, despite their respective interpretations, the moment managed to bring happiness, curiosity, and exciting discussions among the fans. And perhaps, therein lies the true charm of Jungkook and Jimin's interactions, not in the certainties, but rather in the possibilities that keep people asking questions and feeling connected. However, there is also another interesting side that is worth paying attention to. A number of fans tried to analyze the moment from the perspective of the psychology of body language. They argue that focusing a person's gaze on the lip area can occur naturally, especially when paying attention to the way the interlocutor speaks or when interested in certain facial expressions. In this context, what Jungkook did could have been a form of full attention to what Jimin was saying, not merely a romantic gesture, as many assumed. As members of BTS, Jungkook and Jimin are known to have a very close relationship dynamic. They often show support for each other, both verbally and through sincere small gestures. This closeness has been established since the early days of their debut, when both were very young and had to adapt to the rigors of the entertainment industry. It is not surprising that their relationship feels so natural and full of comfort. In the interview, it is actually not only the gaze moments that attract attention. There are also some other small interactions that show how comfortable they are with each other. For example, how they chime in with each other's answers, laugh together, and share expressions that look in sync. Things like this often go unnoticed by the general public, but for loyal fans, every detail has its own meaning. Interestingly, some fandom analysts say that the main strength of the Jikook moment lies in its ambiguity. There is no confirmation, no denial, just a series of interactions open to interpretation. It is this ambiguity that makes the discussion never stop. Everyone is free to have their own views, and it is precisely such differences in interpretations that keep the community of fans alive and dynamic. On the other hand, it is also important to understand that as public figures, Jungkook and Jimin's every move is always under the spotlight. The camera captures not only what they say, but also how they react in every second. In situations like this, things that are actually spontaneous can easily look meaningful because of the context and framing built by the media and fans. Even so, it cannot be denied that the moment managed to bring its own happiness to many people. Many fans admitted that they felt entertained, smiled to themselves, and even got carried away when they saw the interaction. In the midst of the routine and stress of everyday life, a simple moment like this can be a source of little meaningful happiness. In addition, this phenomenon also shows how strong the emotional connection between idols and their fans is. ARMY not only enjoys the music performed by BTS, but also the journey, personality, and relationship dynamics between its members. This creates a deeper bond, which makes every moment feel personal and meaningful. In the end, whether Jungkook's gaze on Jimin's lips really had a romantic meaning or not will probably never be answered definitively. However, perhaps it is not the most important thing. What matters more is how it brings together millions of fans in one global conversation, bringing laughter, curiosity, and warmth. The story of Jikook will live on as long as there are still little moments like this that can be remembered and talked about. And for many fans, it is precisely in it that its beauty lies, in those simple details that are able to create a feeling of grandeur. A brief glance, which may mean nothing to some, but for others it can be a story that continues to be remembered and celebrated.